Resolving to eat healthier this year was easy. Actually doing it's not so easy, right? Better nutrition is a key to health and longevity, and a healthy diet could even help you avoid health risks that run in your family. Field of Greens is my healthy super fruit and vegetable habit. It's the only fruit and vegetable product that literally promises better health at your next checkup. Your doctor will notice your improved health. Mine did, or you're going to get your money back. Do your vitamins or your green drinks promise better health? Nope. Each superfruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected for a specific health benefit. Some support your heart, your lungs, your kidneys. Others support metabolism for healthy energy and weight loss. Look, if you resolve to get healthier in 2024, like I've done, it starts with Field of Greens. I've worked with the Brickhouse Nutrition team to get you 15% off your first order, as well as free rush shipping. So visit fieldofgreens.com and use the promo code JUSTNEWS. Once again, that's promo code JUSTNEWS at the fieldofgreens.com website. You're going to get 15% off your first order and free rush shipping. So go over there today. One more time, fieldofgreens.com. Use the promo code JUSTNEWS. Order today.
Welcome back, America. South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem is going to rejoin us to dive back into where we left off before the commercial break. But I'm hoping to get a little spoiler of her upcoming book coming out May 7th. It's titled No Going Back, The Truth on What's Wrong with Politics and How We Move America Forward. So we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. But Governor Noem, thank you so much for sticking with us. I want to talk about election integrity because we are fresh off of Super Tuesday yesterday. Obviously, President Trump just wiping the floor. It was a near sweep with the exception, of course, of Vermont, but he is the de facto nominee for the Republican Party now. There are a number of counties across America who have opted out of the Zuckerbucks nonprofit assistance. So nice of them to offer their help in these counties, but they said no thank you, very wisely so, I think. You are one of those governors who you are innovative, you are industrious, you think outside of the box with respect to election integrity going into November. What would you grade South Dakota's election integrity to be right now?
You know, I would give us an A. We definitely banned private money funding our elections. Zuckbucks was a bill that I brought forward and we passed last year during legislative session to ensure that that didn't happen. We banned drop boxes in the state of South Dakota. You have to use your driver's license, voter ID in order to vote. You vote on or before Election Day. And we have a lot of integrity in our system. Poll watchers and people that are there in a very transparent process. I think every state should follow our model. That's what I've been concerned about, is that we saw in 2020 what a lot of these states did by governors writing executive orders because of an emergency situation, that they were allowed to ignore election law. So our election laws are incredibly important. Our Secretary of States, who are our chief election officers, are incredibly important. We need to be preparing right now for this fall to make sure that each of these states, and especially those states where we know we have liberal governors, that they are going to follow their election laws, and that we are continuing as conservatives and as Republicans to make sure that we're using every tool available to us to make sure that our people get out and vote and that we get the chance to get that vote counted.
Yeah, so important. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but on Monday, I believe it was, the Attorney General of the United States, Merrick Garland, actually told a church full of churchgoers that I'm going to try to get rid of voter ID. I think voter ID is discriminatory, an impediment to voting. 80% of Americans support it. When they implemented it in Georgia and they demagogued on it, more people ended up voting than ever before because they felt that the election was secure. What does it say when the Attorney General is not only disconnected from what Americans want, but actually thinks that just showing an ID for the most precious right we have in this country is somehow an impediment?
Well, he is a horrible attorney general. So number one, if we could get a better attorney general, that would be fantastic. But so what he says is specifically said so that they can manipulate the election. Voter ID is incredibly important to make sure that that person is counted, that that one person gets one vote and that they're not double counted. And even what that ID is and how it's utilized is incredibly important, that it's verified, that it's something that's recognized, that we can ensure that that individual is who they say they are. So I thought that was shameful. I don't think he should even be allowed to continue in a position like that with that type of an opinion. And I hope none of our Secretary of States follow that opinion or our Attorney Generals when they're going forward and looking at this next election.
And I think it's pretty insulting to make comments like that. It's the bigotry of low expectations that people can't obtain an ID, which is one of the easiest things that you can do, and it's required to do practically anything else. I want to stay down in Georgia, though, and talk to you about what happened there last weekend with Lake and Riley. The governor of that city, of Athens, Georgia, Kelly Girtz, gave a number of press conferences, and one of the things that he said that I think was also insulting was that criminality is not connected to illegal immigration. You now have this administration referring to illegal aliens, folks breaking our laws coming into this country as newcomers. I don't want to get into the minds of people who vote Democrat or liberal or whatever. I can't speak to what they say, but I just can't wrap my brain around that not being insulting to practically every American.
To every American, but think about that poor family. Think of Lakin's poor family hearing someone actually say that. They lost their dear, precious child, and their heart is broken forever. And obviously, criminality is tied to this illegal immigration. All criminality should be dealt with. But we know for a fact, and press reports have openly given us the facts for over a year and a half, that countries such as Venezuela are emptying out their prisons. They're emptying out their mental institutions. And they're taking their responsibilities of people that they have to care for and be responsible for, and they're saying, go to America. The border is open. Go there and be their problem, their responsibility. And so we know that we are not just getting people who are listed on the known terrorist watch list. We know that we're getting people from China and from Cuba and from North Korea, but we're also getting individuals from all other dozens of countries that are not good actors, that are their biggest societal problems are coming to America because of the situation that we have at the border. So I have deployed my National Guard now to the southern border 5 different times. I was the first governor in the country to deploy National Guard with a recognition that it was a war zone. And this time, the Guard that will be going will be building a wall. I asked Governor Abbott exactly, specifically, what type of help that he needed. And he said, you know, what happened was that the federal government challenged us because they saw we actually had constructed a barrier that was working, that even these military-aged men could not get across. And that's when they sued us to take it down. So I said, well, let me send you some engineers that know how to build this, build it as fast as possible, and we can work with you to even get it across private ground where landowners are in agreement. And let's close up as much as that border as possible. And where we do see open places where we still have people crossing that border, we'll know it's because Democrats are allowing it to happen. But we'll secure as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, what a great mission, such an important one. Governor, I want to ask you about your new book. Your last book was a wonderful memoir. We got to understand how you got into politics, what are the values that drive you. This one has a very provocative title, No Going Back. Tell us why you wrote this and why it's so important to you.
You know, John, this one's a little unfiltered, so I think you're going to want to read it.
I'm all in.
Sometimes, I think that a lot of people really need to know, and what I found in America, too, is that a lot of people keep saying, they want to go back to the good old days of politics where everybody got along and there was no arguing. And my argument is that Trump broke politics. We're not going back. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing because he allowed people to go out and to speak the truth, to talk about the swamp, and to do it in a way that was very honest and genuine, and it's resonating with the American people. So let's take that and use that as a tool to get American people on board and voting and understanding conservative policies in a way that they never have before. It's almost a to-do book for the common citizen of who thinks that their vote doesn't matter, that what they do doesn't matter. They will read every single chapter and see a couple of quotes and some instructions and some stories that they've never heard before on politics of people that they know very well and understand really what the swamp is, what the shadow government is, and then what they can do to make a difference to really turn this country around. So we're not going back to the good old days of Mitt Romney and the Cheneys, and that's a good thing. We should celebrate that, and then here's what we could do to continue to build on the success that President Trump first brought us.
Yeah, important.
Fantastic. And I want to stay on that because I know you referred to what happened last night as boring because I think most of us expected what happened last night to happen. But over on some of the legacy media channels, they not only were apoplectic, but I think that they were truly shocked that President Trump did so well in these states. And they kept remarking about how the transformation of the Republican Party is complete as of last night. And it just seems like year after year, cycle after cycle, Trump victory after Trump victory, they still don't understand the American people, do they?
No, they don't. And that's one of the things I talk about in the book is that most of the time when you get a politician that is going to announce that they're going to run for elected office, the first thing they go out is they go find a barn, or they go get a hay bale, or they put on some overalls and stand there and act like they're just like one of you. And I said, when President Trump announced that he was running for president, he came down a golden escalator. Like, who does that? We have like 2 escalators in the entire state of South Dakota. So most of my population cannot relate on their day-to-day business, what using an escalator is. But he did that because that's who he is. He was genuine. He embraced who he is and was honest about it. And he doesn't think he's better than anybody else. He doesn't think that he's better than the truck driver or the farmer or the housewife that is raising kids and raising our future generation. And that's the difference between him and the politicians that we've had for decades, is that they try to act like they are like you, but they think they're better. President Trump doesn't think he's better than you. He's one of you, and he's going to fight for you.
He's just real, as are you, Governor. We love having you on. We love your last book. Can't wait to read the next book. Everybody go out and get it. It comes out May 7th. Governor Kristi Noem, it's always an honor to have you here, and we'll have you back on again very soon. All right, everybody, stick around. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson joins us next to talk about John's breaking news and a whole lot of other stuff. We'll be right back.